There's a place rich with light, where every way will purify. Take me there to be with you. Take me to the river. There's a place deep with hope to saturate the weary soul. Take me there to be with you. Take me to the river.
A blessed good morning and welcome to you to this devotions for this new week. Just want to let you know that last week was a little difficult in being able to bring the devotions as I was traveling. And as you know, when you're traveling, the internet connection is always unsteady, unstable, and you're not sure. And so I wasn't able to bring you most of the week. I'm going to be on holiday for the next few weeks, and I will be traveling here and there again. And so I can only trust that from time to time I'll be able to offer the devotions. But if they're not there, you would understand that it is mainly because of the internet connection where I am. Today I want to begin a theme for us for this week. Give to God what is God's. And you may recall that it comes from that episode in Jesus' life when he is challenged by some of those persons who want to make an issue for him, where they ask whether it is lawful to pay tribute to Caesar or not. And Jesus asks him to bring a coin. And he asks, whose inscription is this on the coin? And they said, Caesar's. And he said, well, give to Caesar what is Caesar's, and to God what is God's. And so that will be our theme for this week as we continue our journey together in faith. And so I invite you now to find your normal space, your normal place of engagement where you will be able to be still. And you'll be able to use this time as a time of reflection as we allow that theme to resonate in our minds. What is God's? What really is God's? And so I invite you to come into your quiet place, your place of stillness, peace, and to breathe with a sense of gratitude. Gratitude for yet another week, yet another opportunity to draw even closer to God, to come to a greater awareness of who I am in God. I breathe with awareness. I allow this moment to be just what it is. Not wishing, not hoping, not regretting, not disappointed. Just simply being in this space and allowing this moment to be all that is. We are here. We are in each other's presence. We are with God. We are within. And the more within we become, the more without we experience. And so we journey with God into that still space. Seeking God's presence. Seeking to know God. Jesus said to his disciples, "See, I am sending you out like sheep in the midst of wolves. So be wise as serpents and innocent as doves. Beware of them, for they will hand you over to the councils and flog you in their synagogues. And you'll be dragged before governors and kings because of me, as a testimony to them and the Gentiles. When they hand you over, do not worry about how you are to speak or what you are to say. For what you are to say will be given to you in that moment. For it is not you who speak, but the Spirit of your Father speaking through you. Brother will betray brother to death, and a father his child, and children will rise against parents and have them put to death. And you'll be hated by all because of my name. But the one who endures to the end will be saved."
There's a place rich with life, where every wave will purify. Take me there to be with you. Take me to the river. There's a place deep with hope to saturate the weary soul. Take me there to be with you. Take me to the river. Lead my soul to quietness and trust. All I know is you will be enough. Take me to the river, pull me off the shore. Here within your freedom, I have found my reason. I am yours. Let the water rise far above my head. Baptize me in wonder, Spirit, take me under once again. Let the water
Yeah, here we are again as we contemplate our theme for this week. Give to God what is God's. Give to God what is God's. What does that mean to us? What does that say to us? There is a sense, I believe, that one of the greatest lessons for us to learn in the spiritual journey is that we belong to God. And for me, that sense of giving to God what is God's is about giving to God myself. in full, without reservation, without hesitation, simply giving to God that which is God's. In the reading for this morning, Jesus tells the disciples that they are to go out and they are to do certain things in His name. And He warns them that they will be imprisoned, they will be flogged, they will be brought before councils. But He says to them, they don't worry about none of this. And they're not supposed to prepare beforehand what they are going to say in response, because the Spirit will give them utterance. Their Father will speak through them. For me, this is the key. When I know that I belong to God, when I allow myself to be fully immersed in God's presence and God's grace, then I know that the words that come from me are not my words, but they are the Father's words. I am but the channel. I am but the avenue. And this, I believe, is the task of each and every one of us, to be the channel. Jesus offers us the classic example of being the channel. When He says, I and the Father are one, He recognizes Himself to be so immersed in the Father's presence that He says, I and the Father are one. In our everyday lives, we are constantly challenged. And in every moment, we have a decision to make. Two choices. Do I seek my way? Do I reason it out myself? Or do I allow myself to rest in the Father's love and to be able to allow the Father to guide me? These are the two choices that we are presented with time and time and time again. What will I choose? Will I choose my way, or will I choose the will of the Father? We oftentimes say in our minds that we are going to choose God's way. But when the time comes, rather than being still, we automatically go to our own pathway, our own response. And we operate from our small selves. And yes, it takes serious practice and dedication, especially in the early times, to choose God's way. Because our minds are so well trained by us to bring all of the various scenarios. But it is often said that the work of the mind is to create those aspects of information that are necessary. But its task is not to make decisions. What comes out from oneself must be the guidance of God. It is something that we must practice time and time again. And we should start with the small things, the small, insignificant things of life. Practice listening to God's will, realizing that God is interested in every aspect of my life. For even scriptures remind us that God has each hair on our head counted. God knows us in ways we can never know ourselves in this life. So give to God what is God's. Myself. Myself as God's creation. Myself as God's instrument in the world. To be a channel of God's grace. This is my work. This is your work. And it will appear differently to you than to me, because we are each unique, a unique manifestation of the divine. I can't look at you to see what you're doing. Neither can you look at me to see what I'm doing. Because God uses us and chooses us in different ways. But what we have in common is that we belong to God. And since we belong to God, the invitation constantly is to give to God what is God's. When we give to God what is God's, then we put ourselves in a place where we're able to bring forth the fruit of God's work, because there is no hindrance to God in my life nor in yours. We have dedicated ourselves to God. I trust and I pray that we will reflect on this theme, give to God what is God's, knowing that it is you and me who belong to God.